Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tillman with another Tillman's Take. Now today I want to do a Tillman Take on a recent video that's gone viral out of San Diego, California, where police officers conduct a traffic stop for a vehicle that fled from them after a police officer initially tried to pull him over for speeding. Let's take a look and see what happens next.
Why?
All right, now some of you guys might ask, why is this video going viral? Well, the reason it's going viral is because people are claiming that some of the police officers on scene were pointing a gun at an 8-year-old kid. Now, first and foremost, I want to highlight is that after watching this video, I can assure you that those officers were not pointing their firearms at that 8-year-old kid. One of the ways we train as police officers is to make sure that we're always cautious of where we're pointing our firearms. And if we're not pointing our firearm at a threat, we're supposed to keep our guns at what we call the low ready. And so what the low ready may look like is us pointing our guns slightly down at the ground. We cant them at the ground. We point them off center of our target, whatever it may be. But essentially we are pointing our guns in a direction that's not focused at a given target. And so initially when they pull the driver out of this vehicle, you can see that all of their guns are pointed at him just based because they don't know what the threat is. They don't know if this person is armed. They don't know what he's wanted for. They don't know why he fled from the stop. And therefore they got to make sure that they have a lethal coverage on this person in the event that he tries to overreact and tries to fire or pull a gun out at these officers. I've shown you guys videos in the past where officers conduct a high-risk stop and somebody pulls a gun out of their waistband and they reach back into the car. And so that's why they conduct these high-risk traffic stops the way they do. However, as the traffic stop continues, they do know that, hey, somebody else is in this vehicle and it's an 8-year-old kid. And that's where the officers realize that. And you can see actually based off of the actions of them and their demeanor towards this kid is once this kid comes out of the car, you even hear somebody say, hey, look, he's young. And you can see the main officer points his gun down at the ground or he cants it off center so he's not pointing it at that kid. So some of you guys might ask, well, why does he still have to have his gun up in the first place? The reason he has to have his gun up in the first place is because we still don't know what else is in that vehicle. Is there another person in the back seat? Is there somebody hiding? Is there somebody in the trunk? We don't know. And that's why those officers still have their guns up just in the event that they have to redirect their focus at that vehicle. But as they're pulling that 8-year-old kid out, you can even see that they're not even going through the standard practice of what we do sometimes of pulling people out of a vehicle during a high-risk traffic stop. Usually we'll prone people out, we'll handcuff them, but you can clearly see that they made the proper adjustment, noting that this is a young kid and he's probably not involved with the actions of his father. The last thing I want to highlight is this, is let's identify and let's, point out the actions of his father, or whoever that was driving the vehicle. That person put that kid in this situation when he fled from officers from the initial stop, when he didn't want to stop, when the officers tried to pull him over initially, whatever he was doing, his actions put that kid in danger, unfortunately. And therefore we have to also hold him accountable for the whole situation in and of itself. And so I wanted to, identify this because I've done many traffic stops and high risk traffic stops where we point guns at vehicles and point guns at people coming out of them. But we also have been able to transition and notating if there's like a child or an elderly person and making sure that, we try to point our guns away from them so that way we can get them back and keep them out of harm's way. So I know this was a little bit much, but I think this video has gone viral for the wrong reasons. There were protests centered around this whole, high-risk traffic stop. And I want you to know that I was able to watch it and I don't think that he was pointing his gun at that child. So hope you guys learned something. Thanks again and God bless.